Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be bringing you a brand new video, kind of a get ready with me sort of a thing. I'm gonna throw in a bit of drama because I'm inspired. Today I'm going to be sharing with you kind of a story that happened to me a while back. It has been the muse for me doing everything myself. So about 2 years ago, I was asked to be part of this campaign for a local brand. It was kind of very much impromptu. I think they asked me actually because one of the models that was meant to go was ill or cancelled or whatever, and they're like, "Hi, would you like to be part of our campaign?" And me, I was just like, "Sure, yeah, let's do it. I'd be happy to be part of it." It was kind of weird because on one hand they got they had a makeup artist on set, they had a hairstylist on set, but then they were like, "Hi, we need you to bring your own clothes, we need you to do this and that." So it was borderline professional versus unprofessional. So I get there and basically what they had us do was come with a bare face and clean hair, but they didn't need us to do anything else other than that because they're like, "We're gonna do it for you over there," which is kind of standard in, you know, most photo shoot things. But from this occurrence onwards, I now vow to always do my own hair and makeup before I photo shoot. And if someone doesn't agree with that, I'm gonna be like, "Okay, bye then." They're like, the inspo behind today is going to be an 80s look, which I was already a bit skeptical about. And they're like, "Because you have pink hair," because at the time I had pink hair, "we're gonna put you in a wig." My first reaction when I heard they were gonna put me in a wig, I was like, yes, finally, because wigs are borderline unheard of here in Malta. So you know, I'm vowing to change that. But at the time it was quite unheard of, so I was just like, yes, finally, there's, you know, it's gonna get some recognition, whatever. But then almost immediately afterwards I was like, wait a second, I also know that because Maltese people never ever work with wig, I was very skeptical of how they're going to actually apply it, how they're going to work it, because it's not the easiest thing. And I know that most Maltese, you know, hairdressing schools, they do not teach, not even extensions. So I grew very wary. Start doing my hair, the stylist. And obviously, to actually wear a wig, you need to put up the hair. Now, I usually put up my hair at the very base of my neck, but she started wrapping it up around kind of like the crown of my head, which is great if you're going to be working with a short wig, which is what we were doing. The problem is that for that to work, you need to really, really lay it down flat against your head. Otherwise, it's going to look kind of like you've got a very, very, very awkwardly large head. That's what she did. Anyways, she's wrapping it up. I'm like, maybe it's one of those wigs that has a lot of volume and like this just adds on to that. It wasn't. But anyways, she starts wrapping it up, pinning it up, spraying, gelling, everything. Like, my hair isn't that hard to work with. You don't need that much product to lay it flat. And then she gets out one of those hairnets. Okay, if you ever brought a wig, the wig comes wrapped in a hairnet when it's in the box to kind of make sure that the wig is all intact and in place. She took one of those instead of a wig cap, and she was using that to lay down my hair. So she put up my hair, and then I'm like, okay, finally it's time for the wig. And this is where, you know, the suspense is. Like, was this overthinking for nothing? Am I going to be, you know, relieved? Whatever. And then the makeup artist comes over, and he comes over with this paper bag, and in it he starts pulling out these wigs. He's like, which one would work the best? They were all very synthetic and they were used for his drag. So the wigs wasn't even provided by the hair stylist, it was provided by the makeup artist, who happened to be into drag makeup, and hence he had a bunch of wigs. 30 euro synthetic, highly flammable wigs. He's like, yeah, they're good quality, aren't they? I'm like, I look at him and I'm like, they're synthetic. And he's like, yes, but they feel very real, they're very thick. And I touch it and I'm just like, no, I've worked with this. Like, I'm sending subtle hints that I've worked with a lot better and everything. And I'm just saying, you know, I have wigs at home, I could have bought one. Anyways, chances are in the pictures, if they're not taking video in the pictures, it would pass as human hair. I love doing that. I love pretending that synthetic hair is real hair. He proceeds to pull out what I call the very definition of a synthetic wig. It was a short bob and it had a very heavy fringe, and it was black, and it was just like, It was very much like the Edna hairstyle from The Incredibles, or, you know, like a Dora hairstyle. It was very much like the wig that is easiest to find, in my opinion. So he pulls out that. Now, I'm not opposed to this. I obviously really love a good bob. I love a good fringe, whatever. So I'm like, okay, fine, maybe we can work with this. Even though it is very cheap, it is very synthetic, there was no lace front, it was all wefts. But they wanted an 80s look. They're like, this wig isn't quite an 80s look. And I'm like, they're like, we had this idea that this wig that is supposed to lay, you know, we twist it 180 degrees and bring the back of the wig to the front. Now, because this was a straight bob like this, whenever you twist it and you put it to a curve, obviously it's all going to start to fall in choppy layers. Now, I get it, that was a very big style in the 80s. I hate that style. They get this damn wig and they start putting it on my head back to front. I'm secretly cursing out everyone. I'm regretting every single decision that has led up to this point. I'm like, but it's not meant to be worn that way. They're like, no, it's fine. It's gonna look great in the pictures. And I'm looking at them, I'm secretly sending daggers with my eyes. I'm like, I hate this, I hate this, I hate this. And the woman who was in charge, she's like, oh, but you look so great. You don't feel comfortable? Like, she was hesitant in saying that because she knew I looked disgusting. And I'm like, it's not really my style and this and that. And she's like, well, but you're a model. I'm not a model, okay? I'm gonna make that very clear. I'm not a model. You didn't get me here to use me as a model. You got me here as an influencer because you were going to put my name at the bottom of the campaign. So from here to the back, it was one continuous thing. So like, imagine a fringe, but the fringe started from back here. Obviously, because if you take a wig and twist it 180, the hair probably starts from up here. So when you twisted it, and they're like, okay, it's time for you to start taking the pictures. So we go out. I'm wearing this god-awful leather jacket because apparently that's what people in the 80s were wearing. The photographer's like, okay, can you start doing poses? And I'm just like, okay, what shows the wig the least? And he's like, well, you can't really hide it because this thing was huge. It literally looks like someone put a top hat on me. I can like feel myself just wanting to sink into the ground. I'm hating every moment. I'm not speaking to anyone. Obviously, hairstylist acts like nothing's wrong. So I had 4 different looks that I had to shoot. I'm walking around the hotel in different locations, and the photographer is like, well, you really should like be more enthusiastic. It's not supposed to be a serious shoot. It's supposed to be a fun shoot. So we get through 3 different looks until finally I'm like, right, give me the scissors. I go up to the hairstylist. I'm like, give me the scissors. I'm gonna fix this right now. I go up to the room. I go up to like where we're kind of set, and I take off the wig and I twist it back to how it was originally meant to go. And then I cut bangs like into it to make it as flattering, and then they proceed to take one picture of me looking my most decent self. One. Finally, the shoot is over. I take off the wig, I hand it over. I'm like, I say nothing to the hairstylist. To this day, I haven't approached her. I don't like her. The shoot was over and they're like, okay, the pictures are going to be coming out sometime soon. It was for like a December campaign, and this was shot in October. I kind of forget about it for a while. You know, I was paid on the day. I was just like, listen, you know what? Fuck it. I'll forget about it. But then the magazine they released like a catalog of all the things, and I wasn't the only model, obviously, but I was the only model wearing a wig. I just want to say that the whole thing was so confusing because the jewelry wasn't vintage, it wasn't retro, it was Calvin Klein, Tommy Hilfiger. It was very modern, minimalistic kind of jewelry that did not fit the theme of 80s out, like literally. So the whole thing was very confusing. Like, they used the worst picture of me possible. Hair took up half the page. I'm not even joking. You could see my disappointment and my hatred towards like the whole thing in the picture. You could see it in my eyes, like that I do not want to be here. And below it there was written Stella Cini wearing, I don't know, I think it was Calvin Klein or whatever. That wasn't bad enough. This picture was then put on billboards. It was put up on the storefront. It was just circulating all over the island. I was secretly like hating myself. Whatever. But then she comes back to me, this lady, she's like, "Hi Stella, we're gonna need you to promote the pictures." What that meant was, it wasn't simply just putting it on my social media and just, you know, sharing it. She also wanted me to boost it, which means when you pay money to Facebook and it circulates even more than it naturally, organically would. And I'm like, please, can you send me any other pictures? Any other pictures? Do you have anything else that I can post other than these ones? She's like, no. These are the ones that were edited, these are the ones that you have to push. But she made me post them, so obviously I had to, you know, kind of still make it my way, in which I cropped out my face from the picture. Oh my god, oh. The campaign then ended, you know, I haven't spoken to the hairstylist since. To be honest, I think like I hold the most grudge towards her because during the whole time she acted like nothing was wrong. She acted like she's the one who knew better, because like the minute I like asked her for scissors, she gave me such a like cold look. She's like, "You're going to mess them up." I'm like, "Don't worry, I know what I'm doing." And like, I think what I hated about the situation the most is that like people see me as the wig girl. Like I take so much pride in creating great looks and creating great styles and kind of fighting the norm that, you know, wigs can be great, wigs can be fun, wigs can be really creative. And they didn't bother asking me to get a wig. They didn't bother asking me to do my own hair. They didn't even let me know before that day. They didn't let me know that I was going to be wearing a wig. And I just felt like that was such a like low blow. So yes, I have a deep-seated hatred or grudge against certain entitled stylists. I'm gonna go and do my makeup and then I'll be back to show you my cute, not messed up look. Cool, so this was the whole entire video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you didn't get sucked out with all the drama. It was just something that I felt like I wanted to share and kind of why I do the things that I do. I know I got a lot of comments the other time like, why don't you let other people cut your hair? Trust issues. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you'll give it a go. And I will see you in my next video.